Armenian rug is a work of art, and rug washing day is a smooth operation, mostly, in Babo, A Tale of Armenian Rug Washing Day, by Astrid Kamalian, illustrated by Anit Semirjan. This is a fun and sunny celebration of working together and honoring cultural heritage. Today is Tato's favorite day of summer. She skips down to the courtyard to help her grandmother, Babo, roll out the rugs. The kids rinse and scrub and play in the suds, making sure every inch is clean. The backs of the carpets are like the backs of their ears. They have to wash them too. Everything is going according to plan until somebody lets out the chickens. Chaos ensues. But Tato's a big girl now, and she knows how to call the chickens back into the coop. Problem solved. Then it's back to the kitchen for a big slice of apricot pie and a hug from Babo, celebrating their hard work. This light-hearted story explores the rich experiences of author Astrid Kamalian's childhood summers in Yerevan, Armenia. Delicious flavors, tantalizing smells, and the sparkle of soap suds, as Tato and her friends enjoy a favorite chore. Perfect for story time or anytime. Babo is on sale September 19th.
Are you and the kids you know ready for an adventure? Are you ready to explore the most extreme places on Earth and one out-of-this-world locale? Jump into this book and gear up all five senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. It's time to find out just how chocolate tastes on Everest, along with the answers to other adventurous questions. This book puts the kid reader in the explorer role. It opens with a call to adventure and takes the kid through what to pack for the epic trip that awaits. Each stop along the way is described as the world's most extreme in some way. The hottest place, the longest river, the darkest cave, the most magical location, the highest peak, the deepest ocean, and more. The travels go down into the caves, across desert plains, through lightning-filled storms, in ships, jeeps, hot air balloons, blimps, dog sleds, and other forms of transport. There's even a rocket to Mars. The book includes 24 countries and 22 ways to get around. All the places are considered from all five senses, and the tidbits of information in this book are so vast and so many that I can't even begin to describe them. Could be that this book could join the extremes list, the most information packed into one single book ever. The favorite fact that I learned while editing this book: there's an insect called the honeypot ant. You can pick one up and pop their grape-sized sac and drink the sweet syrup that's inside. Afterwards, you put the live ant back right where you found it. I know, I could hardly believe it. This book is perfect for kids across the age spectrum. Young ones will revel in the adventure. Older kids could choose any adventurer who's mentioned in the book and go research more about them. Curriculum hooks galore, as well as so much trade appeal. Oh, and how does chocolate taste on Everest? You'll have to read to find out.
Allow me to welcome you to the Geology Lab with Lola Schaefer and Drusilla Santiago's Hands-on Science Geology. Through imagination, exploration, and play, preschoolers and pre-readers are asked to interact with the nonfiction fun, sliding tectonic plates together to create earthquakes, blowing on a mountain to make a volcano erupt, and pressing their hands in mud to make a fossil, imploring eager readers to predict what will happen next and turn the page to see the results. Educator and author Lola Schaefer's classroom experience teaching science to little kids shines through in every part of the book, from vocabulary to line breaks, with the goal of making the science fun so it feels like play. Pair that with Drusilla Santiago's clean, open art that features lots of white space and enticing lab equipment, and we invite readers to interact with the page, giving colorful life to the series' promise of offering kids access to the lab, where you can touch, tap, shake, and press every object on display. Geology is the second in our new Hands-on Science series, and the whole series is designed to be Press Here meets Bill Nye the Science Guy in young, interactive STEM picture books that bring science experiments to life.
Do you know a kid who wants to know everything about a topic like dinosaurs or cars or flamingos? Do you know a kid who thinks they know everything about a topic and wants to tell you all about it? Author Ruth Spiro was just like that when she was little, and she's channeled that kid expert into her brand new series, How to Explain Science to a Grown-Up. In the first book, a kid expert narrator instructs the main character in the fine art of explaining coding to a grown-up. When I was a little kid, I asked a lot of questions. I thought my grown-up had all the answers. But now that I'm big, I know the truth. My grown-up does not know all the answers. Sometimes they need me to explain things to them. If you're reading this, I'm guessing your grown-up needs help understanding stuff too. With a little help from this book, you can explain coding to your grown-up. Me? The main character asks. With tongue-in-cheek guidance from the narrator, the main character learns how to teach her good-natured but slightly clueless dad the basics of coding. Just take a look at these wonderful characters from Teresa Martinez. Pro Tips suggests best practices for teaching anyone, kid or adult, any topic. For instance, when dealing with grown-ups, don't jump into the complicated stuff too fast. Start with something they already know, like computers. The first step in understanding coding is to take a look inside a computer. After introducing computer hardware, the book goes on to explain software. Ruth worked closely with software engineers and programmers to really break down code and explain it in everyday language. Here's the code for deciding whether to use a swing or the slide at a playground, complete with line-by-line translation. This is possibly the best and clearest explanation of code I've ever read. Ruth is the author of the best-selling Baby Loves Science series. With the How to Explain Science to a Grown-Up series, she levels up, explaining STEM topics to kids ages 4 through 8. Each book will feature a different kid and adult, showing that anyone can be a scientist and an expert. You don't need to grow up first.
In this latest installment of the best-selling Jitters series, Mrs. Hartwell comes down with a cold, which prevents her from going to school to teach her class. To make matters worse, the substitute teacher is nowhere to be found. Cue all of the other fabulous and talented teachers stepping in to lend a hand. Nurse Marcus teaches the class about germs and does a science experiment. The math teacher teaches reading. The custodian teaches the class a cleanup song. Things may go a bit haywire, but in the end, teamwork really comes out on top. Told through alternating point of views from both the students and Mrs. Hartwell, Sick Day Jitters models the importance of staying home when you're sick and adapting to change. I am so happy to be back in the Jitters classroom, even if Miss Hartwell couldn't make it. I also love that she shows Mrs. Hartwell engaging in sick day activities, like disinfecting surfaces, getting plenty of bed rest, baking cookies, and even receiving a beautiful bouquet of flowers from her partner. Readers will also appreciate the conclusion to this story, where Mrs. Hartwell and her classroom have a very special surprise for those who stepped in to help. Sick Day Jitters comes out October 10th in both paperback and hardcover.
Circumference and the 100% Goose Chase is the 12th installment of the Circumference series. In this new math adventure, Priscilla Sentwell and Lady Di of Ammeter, see what we did there? Are on their way to Gaggleston-on-Green to deliver the flock of 100 geese that Priscilla raised to the townspeople who pre-ordered them. But things don't exactly go to plan. On the way, a few missteps, including one goose poop incident, startled the geese and caused several to fly away. With many of the geese missing, it's up to Priscilla and Lady Di to calculate how many geese each vendor should get so they are distributed fairly. The story introduces the concept of looking at three elements: percent, whole, and part, in an organic way, with, as usual, a very entertaining story to keep kids engaged. Like other Circumference stories, this will be released in both hardcover and trade paperback, and I am 100% sure you're going to love it.
I am excited to share with you the Spanish translation of We Are Grateful o Ya Ligera, which is going to be under the title Estamos Agradecidos o Ya Ligera. This book originally published in English in September of 2018, and I am sure it's going to bring a lot of joy and gratitude to a whole new group of readers. In this story, we follow the Cherokee community as they express their gratitude for the blessings and challenges that each season brings. I really love that Spanish speakers, and specifically kids, are going to be able to enjoy this beautiful story about Native American life as told by a Cherokee Nation citizen. And I also love that they're going to get to learn Cherokee words in the process.
One of my favorite Charlesbridge books, A Thousand White Butterflies, is now going to be in Spanish. Mil Mariposas Blancas follows Isabella, who has just moved to the United States from Colombia with Mama and Abuela. In the story, Isabella's first day of school gets canceled because of the snow, and there goes her plans to make new friends. But when she catches a girl playing outside her window, she decides to brave the cold and unfamiliar outdoors. Maybe she can still make a friend today, after all. The story sheds light on an immigrant experience that many children who come from another country will be able to relate to. And beyond that, a lot of readers can connect to all the emotions that come along with making new friends. Mil Mariposas Blancas is a perfect addition to Charlesbridge's growing list of Spanish books and contains a thoughtful note from the authors and additional back matter about immigration. It's a celebration of honoring your own culture and traditions and welcoming the new things that come your way, cascading like 1,000 white butterflies.
In what is yet to be another awesome addition to the bilingual storytelling math series, I'm pleased to share with you Leah and Luis Desconcertados. In this one iteration, we get to follow Leah and Luis, the twins, as they try over and over to solve the puzzle that Vovo, their grandma, sent them, because guess what? There is a hidden meaning in the puzzle. However, their mom is hurrying them up because they have places to be, so the twins are struggling with jackets and shoes and trying to finish the puzzle in time. Will they get to figure it out before they leave the house? I really love that this title continues to invite children to use their critical thinking and solving skills. Kids of any age, especially if they have siblings, let alone twins, will really relate to Leah and Luis.